White House defends foreign aid cuts, says Americans want their tax dollars going to good uses. Good uses. It just sounds so sane, doesn't it? We really need like a DOGE franchise for Canada. I think probably every Western country does, because Trudeau's been giving away our money like gangbusters. And I mean, I've shown you guys the articles, like 4 million for gender neutral demining. He's sending it off to like Sri Lanka, all over the place for like genders things and just no. Canada, we need, please, Elon, please send us a franchise of Doge, please. Let's see. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, and we've got some video of her coming right up, so just hang around. Blasted Democrats who are criticizing the Trump administration's decision to cut foreign aid, claiming their outrage is misplaced when states like North Carolina and California are still recovering from natural disasters without sufficient federal assistance. The Democrats might as well just go along with. There's no winning this game, right? There's no like winning the game where you are defending wasteful spending, where you're defending funding for sex changes in Guatemala, tourism in Egypt. What? And Sesame Street program for Iraq. Like, there's no defending that. Like, it's a game they can't win. They're trying to, but it's pointless. Why even bother? Just go with it. It's a no-win situation for them. And maybe just some common sense. Because like when normal people see this, right, and they think, well, I don't want to spend money for sex changes in Guatemala or Sesame Street program in Iraq or tourism in Egypt. I mean, can't the Egyptians handle that on their own? I mean, it's tourism in Egypt, not the United States. And by the way, Iraqi Sesame Street, way more beheadings than normal Sesame Street. So it just seems like a no-win. Let's hear Carolyn Leavitt. Let's see.
And I can confirm that the more than 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOGE team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort.
I mean, look, 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico will no longer be happening. 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to subsidizing subscriptions to Politico. Politico is not like this, massively popular thing amongst the public, right? What it is like a deep state mouthpiece. That's why the money goes there. It's obvious corruption, is it not? It's very similar to what's been happening in Canada with Trudeau, but Trudeau just openly subsidizes the legacy media here, as well as, giving away masses of money to activist organizations and all of that, all of which, push the message that he wants pushed, which is that anybody who disagrees with him is an ist or a phobe or whatever, or is committing genocide or something. So I think all Western governments are doing this, doing stuff that is counterproductive to the well-being of their citizens, stuff that is just simply brainwashing. It's indoctrination, it's propaganda. The White House has confirmed USAID will shut down overseas operations this Friday while they figure out what's going on. So by the way, with Politico, from Benny Johnson, this is the email Politico sent to all employees yesterday. No one got paid. Politico's corrupt management blamed this on a glitch and not their government gravy train ending, state propaganda collapsing. So they were getting an enormous amount of money. They don't actually have that much reach, is the thing. So, and by the way, also like New York Times, it looks like they're all on the gravy train, but without that government money, apparently they can't even operate. I mean, it just makes it all the clearer that this is just simply propaganda. They are just putting out propaganda. What's going on here? Libs of TikTok. Wait, so you're telling me that my tax dollars funded hit pieces against me? So what's going on here? Associated Press, of course, here's a hit piece on Libs of TikTok. Rachik's Libs of TikTok account on X frequently features anti-trans posts and clips of public school teachers aimed at generating right-wing outrage. Well, maybe it's just reasonable things that people are concerned about, like things that their children are being shown in school that they shouldn't be. Associated Press, 619,000, almost $620,000. USAspending.gov. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. That just seems like propagandizing your own population. That seems pretty corrupt, doesn't it? Let's see, from Charlie Kirk. So let me get this straight. USAID or USAID has been spending millions of taxpayer dollars every year funding not only the BBC, but also Politico. Yes, they were funding the BBC as well. I think I've got something about that in here. Here's Jesse Waters talking about this. Let's take a look.
Bureaucrats are showing up to the office, and before they get coffee and log on, DOGE says, come into the conference room and sit down. This will only take a minute.
DOGE was in the building. We took down our pride flags. I took out any books I felt would be incriminating. No one was talking. We heard they started taking transcripts automatically of all of our Google Meets. They unplugged the news in the little kitchen galleys. It didn't feel good. And then Saturday, all of the websites went down, and then I lost complete access to my computer.
Elon says we spent the weekend feeding USAID into the wood chipper. Could have gone to some great parties. Did that instead. This is what Democrats are fighting to save.
These are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government.
So it's absolutely crazy. I mean, let's go over this. $335 million on a diesel-fueled power plant that just sat there. $20 million for an Iraqi Sesame Street, $2 million for pottery classes in Morocco, $27 million to give gift bags to illegals before we deport them. That's just a really weird one. $11 million to tell Vietnam to stop burning trash. I mean, what is in the gift bags, by the way? Is there like a fake mustache for the next time they go over across the border? Like what's in there exactly? $250 million on a partial road that deteriorated, $500 million on a dam that was too unsafe to be used, $70 million on contractor fees for projects that were canceled. They're just scratching the surface so far. I mean, what is going to be the final number saved after a couple of years of this? Let's see. How about Senator John Kennedy here? What's he saying?
520? I mean, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars over the years on this madness. What are they thinking? We have $40 trillion in debt.
If you notice, my Democratic colleagues and the USAID officials, they're not defending the spending. All they're talking about is process. Oh, it's an insurrection, and Elon Musk doesn't have the authority. Well, sure, he has the authority. The president gave it to him. And all he's doing is looking at the spending. Just what the president said he was going to appoint Musk to do. Here's what I hope Rubio and Musk do. I would put together all this absurd spending into a booklet. I'd call a press conference, and in front of God and country and the corporate media and the USAID folks and my Democratic colleagues, I'd go over it, item by item by item, every bit of it. The DEI comic books, the transgender operas, the funding of gain-of-function research. I'd go over every bit of it and say, now, do you want to defend this? And they won't. They can't.
J-Ham says, how you doing, J-Ham? Trump is hitting so hard and so often that the blue hairs don't have time to pick a policy to be outraged about. That's true. Like, he's just going all in. Like, he got in. He knows how the system works now. He knows they're going to come after him, and he just gave them too much to deal with. They can't collect themselves. There's too much. He knows he's got, he might have only 2 years until the midterms. Because who knows what'll happen at the midterms to get what he wants done while he's got, the House, the Senate. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.